Lord. Thank you. Shall we kindly be upstanding? And let's have a word of prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we want to thank you so much for this morning. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for journey mercies. We thank you for open skies. We are praying and committing today into your hands, Lord. Take absolute control. And at the end, we shall give you praise and thanks. This we ask in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Thank you very much. And a prayer by a survivor is a very strong thing. So I'd like us to give another round of applause. I come to this job not as a stranger, and indeed this hall takes me back many years, but I'll share some of those things with you. But I can remember us struggling to put together what then was the makings of a domestic violence bill in this very room many years ago with Christine Checha, Betty Modi Drisu, and many others. So if we're here again for another pivotal event, the launch ceremony of Pink October, then it's a good thing. I'll call upon the Vice President of the Breast Society of Ghana, Dr. Na Adoko Aite, to give us the purpose of the gathering. Dr. Na Adoko Aite. I didn't get your type of pink.
Hello everybody, you are all warmly welcome again to what's probably the 5th Pinktober launch. And if you've been with Breast Society of Ghana, you know it's a big deal to us. And the reason is that as a society, we aim to support breast cancer in any way that's possible. So to educate the workforce, to educate the general public, and to advocate with and on behalf of the survivors. But we know that we can't reach far. I don't know the number of millions of women that are alive in Ghana. But if we sit in Accra and speak, they may not hear what we say. And so that's the purpose of this meeting. Every year, before October, we make it a point to serve as the fulcrum for all the activities that occur in the country for breast. Because breast cancer is a big deal. I'm sure by now you know somebody who's been diagnosed with breast cancer. And unfortunately, you will get to know somebody who will be diagnosed with breast cancer if you don't already know somebody. And so, this morning, you've all been warmly invited with the aim to hear what our campaign for the month of October will be for 2025 and to encourage you to support us to ensure that the fight for breast cancer will be achieved. And that in a few years, when we say breast cancer, every woman in Ghana will know about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is it that my ears are not working or you guys are a bit subdued? Please, advocacy is serious. And in our part of the world, there's a lot of stigma. So we're seeing people in this room, you know what pink stands for, you know why you're wearing the pink ribbon. When you are subdued, and like she said, we're not going to get that far. Okay? I can remember names of people who sadly have passed on. Right? So if we're able to celebrate survivors, celebrate interventions, treatment, management, stigma, discrimination, then we're doing good work. Let me call upon Mrs. Jacqueline Odro Akoto of the BSOG to introduce our chairperson for today's function. Jackie.
Thank you. And so, ladies and gentlemen, honorable members of parliament, corporate partners, friends of the media, our cherished breast cancer survivors, good morning. As we gather here to officially launch the Pink October Breast Cancer Awareness Theme, gain insights from medical experts, and hear inspiring and resilient stories from survivors, we hope to spark a conversation that will break the silence around breast cancer, encourage early detection, and strengthen support systems. And as our mission reflects, to provide coordinated medical, allied health, and social interventions for improving standard outcomes of breast cancer in Ghana, we remain committed to ensuring that increased awareness translates into better health outcomes and improved survivorship. And so I am honored to introduce the chairperson for today's program, a personality who is no stranger to the healthcare setting and leadership, having dedicated his career to public health advocacy and community development. He is a medical doctor with over 15 years' experience in public service and politics. He holds a Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery degrees from the University of Development Studies and a certificate in Health and Administration Management from the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA. He is a member of Parliament, serving the good people of Nanton constituency in the northern region of Ghana. He has served in various capacities in the healthcare sector, including his role as a medical officer, a senior medical officer, and an obstetrician gynecologist, all at the Tamale Central Hospital, and a medical superintendent at the Salaga Government Hospital. He is a fellow of the College of Medicine of South Africa, with an in-depth training and experience in obstetrics and gynecology, with a proven track record for public health advocacy and healthcare policy formulation. Together with colleague members of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health, he continues to contribute to Ghana's healthcare landscape and championing health reforms, social equity, and community development. He is a researcher as well, a dynamic communicator, a team lead, an advocate for evidence-informed policymaking and inclusive national development. He is a fitness enthusiast, and to it would consider a potential participant in our Pink October work. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure, and I'll kindly ask that you join me. We welcome with a warm applause and a hearty welcome, Honorable Mohammed, Honorable Dr. Mohammed Abdul Halik.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Sometimes when you sit behind and somebody's talking about you, you're wondering, is this me she was just talking about? I'll say a very good morning to you all and then welcome you to this particular ceremony. I'm representing the chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health, who is Dr. Kurt Nawani. He is the Member of Parliament for the good people of NABDA. Before I tell you what my chairman has to say, I'll just share my own experience. I remember as a very young medical officer who was sent to work in a district. One of the very difficult things I came across was a 45-year-old female that had come previously, about 3 years prior to me meeting her. So she had come across with a breast lump. And then this lump was taken out. I mean, obviously, the one that did the excision felt, look, it looks, there was nothing malignant about it, clinically, everything-wise. Then the lump was taken out. And you know how the system runs, if you know where some of us have worked. It's a very difficult terrain where if you have a sample for histology, it takes a lot for you to get it to be done, for you to know exactly what you are dealing with. So this sample was given to the lady to send to Tamale for histology. But unfortunately, it never got there. For very obvious reasons. She had to pay. And she didn't have whatever she needed to pay for it. So she left the sample. Then I see her 4 years down the line. Clinically, even if you're a first-year medical student and you saw her, and what they used to tell us in medical school, spot diagnosis. Spot diagnosis. You are going to just say, this is breast cancer and it's advanced stage. So this is the story that we all battle with as a country. And it's not just Ghana, it's everywhere else. You know, health financing is a very big challenge for all of us. Per the Abuja Declaration, we are supposed to be doing about 15% of our budget on health. But unfortunately, every single African country, all the 54, none has been able to achieve this 15%. In Ghana currently, we are just hovering around about a 7.8, almost 8%. And that is even now because the health insurance has been uncapped. But we are still all battling with financing. So with issues of breast cancer, etc., it has to do with, one, you and I, who do advocacy. Two, it has to do with a system that has to make things available so that early detection and early treatment becomes hallmark fight you and I are going on. So on behalf of my chairman, I give his opening remarks, the president of the Breast Society of Ghana, Dr. Joseph Nsafo. I hope I got that right. I asked already. I see on the program list we have representatives from the office of the vice president. I acknowledge those representatives. You know, for the first time in the history of Ghana, we have a female that is vice president. And for the survivors of breast cancer, for all the women of this country, Prof represents that future we're all looking at. I also recognize my other members of parliament who unfortunately have abandoned me to this task because I don't see them around. And then also representatives from civil societies and allied organizations, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an honor to deliver this opening address for the launch of activities outlined for the 2025 Pinktober on behalf of my chairman, Dr. Kednawani. The Honorable Chairman is unable to be here with us due to other equally important national assignments, but he sends his well wishes to the President and all gathered here today. When Charlotte Halley created that first batch of breast cancer awareness ribbons in 1991, it was a small but significant gesture calling policy and decision makers to take the necessary actions by dedicating more resources and attention to the fight against breast cancer. The singular action, which was later developed onto a larger scale and publicized, reinforced the need for education of the public on breast cancer, and it was institutionalized by the American Society of American Cancer Society and it partnered by observing the Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the month of October, starting from the year 1985. I commend therefore the Breast Society of Ghana for carrying out the touch almost 40 years ago and joining that global campaign to bring awareness on breast cancer, deliver research and screening services, as well as provide patient support in fulfillment of its global message, which is joint action for breast cancer. The staggering statistics in Ghana indicate that for almost 5,000 women that we diagnosed with breast cancer, we are almost losing about 2,000 of them. And this requires urgent steps to drastically reduce, if not eliminate, the prevalence of the disease amongst our people. Gaps in our healthcare delivery sector, including inaccessibility to mammogram screening and unaffordable radiography services, are largely responsible for the surge in fatalities associated with breast cancer. These gaps in our medical landscape, coupled with late reporting of symptoms to healthcare centers, account for a significant number of deaths among breast cancer patients. In order to bridge the gap in the treatment of non-communicable diseases, including chronic diseases like we have in breast cancer, the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health played a pivotal role in the promulgation of the Ghana Medical Trust Fund Act of the Act 2025, which is the government's, and that act, to make it easy, we call it the Mahama Care Act. That's the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. The agenda is for improving healthcare financing and providing a targeted relief for underprivileged patients in our country. Indeed, full operationalization of the trust fund will provide a much-needed relief for patients with non-communicable diseases and ensure prompt access to medical care, which would reduce the high mortality rate associated with such diseases, particularly breast cancer. It is envisaged that the fund would not only support financing of the cost of treatment for eligible beneficiaries, but it would also provide resources for the procurement of critical medical equipment to facilitate access to accurate diagnosis and early detection of chronic diseases. As the government contributes its quota by prioritizing the treatment of chronic diseases through a dedicated fund, we all need to do our bit to reinforce the awareness on the prevention and early detection of breast cancer and other forms of cancers. It is a fact that more females are affected by the disease than males, but than their male counterparts. However, these days, data is suggesting that about 1 to 3% of males are also affected. This clearly shows that the men not also sit on the fence. We all need to put our shoulders to the wheel and champion sustainable interventions that reduce drastically the fatalities of breast cancer patients. The hidden costs associated with breast cancer are immeasurable. Patients only spend on families lose loved ones, relationships are strained, faith may dwindle, and destinies may take a detour. We have a number of breast cancer survivors amongst us here today, and we must increase the sensitization efforts to ensure that the survivors of breast cancer become the norm rather than the exception. Get our priorities right and dedicate resources to educate the citizenry on preventive measures, debunk the myths associated with the disease, and conscientize the public against stigmatization. As well as promote healthy living habits and holistic well-being. On the observance of Pinktober annually is critical in spreading information on the disease and enlightening the masses on the measures to reduce the incidence of casualties associated with the disease. Our breast cancer awareness creation and treatment efforts should, however, go beyond the pink shirts. It should go beyond the pink balloons. It should go beyond the pink banners in October. We must consciously pursue avenues to create awareness beyond the annual activities in October. More attention to be given to breast cancer screening all year round. We must work harder to reduce testing and treatment costs, improve sensitization in rural areas. Like I told you, go through all the rural areas to get a sample to be seen by a pathologist. For some of you who have worked all your lives in Accra and in Kumasi, you may not understand. But for some of us who also dedicated our lives, I have never actually worked in a very big hospital anywhere apart from the Tamale Central Hospital. all my 15 years of experience have been in rural Ghana. And I can tell you that our people are struggling. Together, we can drastically reduce the significant number of deaths associated with breast cancer annually, improve health outcomes of patients, and decrease the risk of others being affected by the disease. Let us therefore take note of the respective dates and participate fully in the activities outlined for the 2025 activities. The information we provide to the public and the resources we expend to ensure that the message reaches our hinterlands will go a long way to preserve lives. I take this opportunity to commend our healthcare workers for their contribution to our nation's development and to encourage them to do more, particularly to promote preventative care. The Parliamentary Select Committee on Health would continue to partner with the Breast Society of Ghana and similar organizations to improve healthcare delivery systems in our dear nation. We will continue to provide leadership through policy formulation and legislation in order that the health-related institutions are strengthened and function effectively in Ghana. On this note, I thank you all for your attention. Good morning once again.
Thank you, Honorable Dr. Mohammed Abdul Halik, MP for Nantong and a member of the Parliamentary Select Committee representing the chair of the committee. Interesting presentation. Of course, I listened to your qualifications, right? But he's also a politician. But he's been on the ground, and I like that. I have fought with the Parliamentary Committee over many years. They are an important partner and ally to have as an NGO. So if you're meeting in here, please make sure the contacts are there. When we hear of programs, they are good as well. Mahama Cares, okay? And breast cancer is in there somewhere, so we hear. He also talked about the uncapping of funds. You can sit here and talk about breast cancer, but when caps have been stifled at a certain level, you need to know and understand what that means. Because it means things are not getting where they should be. Okay? So I fight with them all the time, and the minister. I can remember fighting with the late Courage Kwashiga before we got our tobacco bill. Right? Domestic violence bill, they also said, you and the women cry, what is it? But please, this is an important presentation, important input for a society as this. Let's give him a round of applause again. And I hope his footprints keep him active. I know why I'm saying that. All right. So that was the chairperson's response. We now have Dr. Mary Ann Dazi of the Breast Society also to give us a presentation. Diagnose it early, treat it right, a sure way to beat breast cancer just before she comes. Diagnose it early. I guess that's identification. Conclusive, right? Treat it right. It means we must have the treatment. And that should beat breast cancer. I have a few things to say on that. Dr. Mary Ann Dazi.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. So can I have the presentation? It's an honor to be here this morning. It's a pleasure to be part of the launching of the Pinktober month It's a month that's dedicated to breast cancer awareness and a month of hope. And as was said, I believe everybody, one way or the other, has had an experience with breast cancer. And our theme, detect it early, treat it right, the sure way to beat breast cancer, it's not just a slogan. It's a life and death truth. And as I go through the slides and the presentation, you would understand why I say that. Can we have it, please? I want to start with the story of 3 women. I think we are waiting for the slides. So let me just go on. So the story of 3 women. Let's start with Tracy. She's 35 years old. She's the head of human resource for a multinational company. She loves her family. She loves good food. She loves to have fun. She met a guy of her dreams about 6 months ago, and they're already talking marriage. Then she detects a lump in her, and she reports to her company doctor, who then refers her to a specialist. She gets the necessary investigations done, biopsy taking, but then she just goes silent because she's afraid that she will lose her breast. And she just met a guy. She wants to get married. So then she confides in a very good friend of hers. Are the slides coming, please? She confides in a very good friend of hers, and the friend mentions that she also had a breast lump after delivery, and resorted to alternative medicine, and so she can't give it a. So she starts it, and the lesion starts getting bigger and bigger until she starts coughing, having back pain, until suddenly she cannot walk. Then her family takes her to the hospital, and the investigation shows that the cancer has spread to multiple areas, and the outcome is not good. So she detected it early. She did not treat it right. The outcome isn't so good. What am I supposed to point this to? So yes, this is Tracy. She loves her family. She loves good food. She detects a lump in her breast. She reports quickly. She gets all the investigations done. This one. She resorts to alternative medicines. She ends up not too good. So she detected it early. She treated it wrongly. And the outcome isn't so good. Then let's talk about Zainab. Sorry. Zainab is a farmer. She's strong, she's healthy, she loves her family as well. She detected a lump in her breast. She reported immediately to the local health facility. She was given some antibiotics, told that it was nothing. She takes the antibiotics for a while. The lesion is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So then she went to the local doctor, got some medications. The lesion gets this big. Then her nephew comes from the city, hears about it, and takes her to the hospital. So she gets all the necessary things done. She was diagnosed, it was locally advanced. She gets chemotherapy, she gets radiotherapy. She does very well. She comes back to a farm, to a family, but the outcome isn't so great as well. So again, she diagnosed it late. She treated it right, but the outcome isn't so good. Then we meet Aili. She sells tomato at Agbogbloshie. 10 years ago, she detected a lump in her breast. She's a single mother of 3 teenage children. Her son hears her talking to a friend about it and insists that she sees a doctor and tells the family about it. So true, she gets all her investigations done. She gets chemotherapy, she gets mastectomy. Yes, things were tough. Sometimes money was hard to come by. Sometimes she got depressed. But with the support of survivors and with the support of her family, she makes it. And last year she went to the graduation ceremony of her last daughter. So she diagnosed it early. She got the right treatment. She's a happy woman. That's all we are talking about. Diagnose it early, treat it right, and then you can beat breast cancer. So why are we here? Why all the noise, all that we are saying about breast cancer is that it's not something that we can just brush under the carpet. If you look at in 2022, there were over 9 million cases, and breast cancer accounted for about 23% of them. And if you take Ghana, for example, in females, breast cancer is the commonest site you can see. And even when you combine both sexes, it's still breast cancer. And it's the single site with the commonest mortality in Ghana as well, with the highest mortality in Ghana as well. So if we have all this information, what is peculiar about Ghana? What makes Ghana different from maybe other developed worlds, or even compared to other sub-Saharan African countries or other African countries, is that most patients present quite late, and these are due to barriers, a lot of barriers. Some of the barriers are patients attributed to the patient themselves, sometimes the healthcare, sometimes social-cultural, the fear. Most people, for the general or average Ghanaian woman, they associate breast cancer, mastectomy, death, breast cancer, mastectomy, death. And so they are always afraid. They are afraid, some are ignorant, some prefer alternative medicines. The infrastructure. If a woman in Anyuem detected breast in her lump, she has to go through a tortuous referral system to get to the place where she can get diagnosis. Sometimes even the negative attitude of health workers. I met a patient who presented quite late, and she tells me that when she first went to the hospital and the scan was done, the sonographer, whoever did the scan, told her, "You are going to die. This one, 3 years." And that scared her. So she decided not to come to try other things. And most of the time for social culture is the cost, the stigma associated with it, and sometimes lack of social support. But then the good thing about breast cancer is that it's the earlier it is, the more likely to survive. So if you look at patients with stage 1, in about 5 years, almost all of them would be alive. But then you can see patients with stage 4. The survival is quite small. It's not too good. But unfortunately, we have about 70% of our women presenting with stage 3 and stage 4. And the outcomes are not good. And that is what the public knows. All they know is that I knew a woman, she had mastectomy, she passed. But then the thing is, at which stage did she come in? But then the idea is that she had mastectomy and she passed. And so I wouldn't want to have mastectomy. So mastectomy, I'm being asked that what is mastectomy? I'll go there. So what do we want to achieve? What is it that we want to achieve as a community, as a country, as a group of people? We want to make sure that at least 60% of breast cancers are diagnosed in stage 1 and stage 2. We also want to make sure that for the patients that pick up anything in their breast, within 60 days, they should have a final diagnosis. And we want to make sure that 80% of all those patients who are diagnosed have treatment, comprehensive breast cancer treatment. So how do we do this? Early detection, that's all we've been talking about for the past 5 years. We need to educate the public on the symptoms of breast cancer. One thing that women should know is that most of these lesions are not painful. So a lot of times when they feel a mass, they'll tell you that it wasn't painful. So I thought it was nothing. A lot of them are not painful. Sometimes it's just reddening and swelling. Sometimes it's just changing the size of the breast. Sometimes it's just the nipple that has changed, has pulled in a bit. And sometimes you can find a clear lump. Other times it's just skin changes. And remember, you may find nothing in the breast, but find something in the armpits. Sometimes it is pain. And this information is to get to everybody. thing is to educate professionals. So sometimes the system fails patients. You find a patient who presents early, reports to the hospital early, like the second example, but then they are treated for one infection or the other, and there's misdiagnosis and mismanagement. So education is not just for the general public, it's also for professionals, for them to be able to have a high index of suspicion for breast cancer. In this arena, I would like to say that we need to collaborate with our spiritual leaders as well. We need to collaborate with our alternative medicine providers as well, because our women will always go there. But then if they go there and they will definitely start something, they should refer. So we need to work with them. We cannot pretend they do not exist. And then we need to establish screening programs like the mammogram and the clinical breast examination, where you report to an expert to examine your breast to see if there's anything in it. But remember, it starts with you. It starts with the woman knowing their breast and knowing whenever there's any change and what to do. So a woman detects a lump. She can't do anything, or you can't treat without having a definite diagnosis. And remember, our second pillar, we want to make sure that patients receive definitive diagnosis within 2 months. So when we talk about diagnosis, one of the important things, or the most important, is the biopsy, where a needle is stuck into the lump and a small part of the lump is taken and sent to the lab for investigations to confirm if it's a cancer, because not everything in the breast is a cancer. And so you can see the picture there, the necessary investigations done. And other tests, you need to find out where else can the cancer be. So we do what we call the general checkup, like scans to look into the lungs, into the abdomen. And then we need to establish an efficient referral pathway and collaborate with all other stakeholders. So early detection. Why does it matter? One of my slides has moved. Why does it really matter? It's because we want to build a vibrant community of survivors. That is the only way we can change the narrative. If we have a vibrant community of survivors who can serve as a point of hope to women, then the narrative can change. And how do we build this vibrant community of survivors? We need to know that once the cancer is small, it's easy to treat. And once it's small and it's easy to treat, it's very likely you would survive it. And once you survive it, you have a large population of survivors who can then stand up for this cause. And it's with only that, having a vibrant community of survivors, that you can build hope in women, give them courage to fight on. So the next pillar we want to talk about is treating it right. So breast cancer is no longer a one-size-fits-all. Things have changed. Things have advanced over the period. And a lot of emphasis is placed on the stage. Is it an early stage? It started very early, limited to the breast. Is it late? Has it spread around the breast into the armpit? Has it spread far? Is it metastatic? What kind of pathological features are there? When they take the sample and they send it to the lab, what are the things in it that makes the cancer different? Now, there are various types of breast cancer. We have luminal A, luminal B, HER2 array, triple negative, and they are all treated differently. What other clinical features? What is the age of the patient? How strong is she? They are all taken into consideration. There are other social cultural factors. Not every form of treatment is acceptable to a patient, and you need to discuss these things. Unfortunately, the economic situation of the patient has to be taken into consideration. We wish it wasn't so, but because it's not fully covered on insurance, these things have to be taken into consideration to determine what you would do for the patient. So as I mentioned, is it advanced? Is it early? What are the pathological features? And don't forget your counseling. Counseling is key. I mean, gone are the days when patients will say, "Doctor, do anything you want to do for me." Now they want to be involved, and you need to involve them. You need to make them understand. It's only when they're able to buy into the vision of survival that they're able to work with you. If they don't understand it, then they wouldn't work with you. Again, in treating it right, there are various options now, as I mentioned, and we call it the multidisciplinary approach, where you combine various options like surgery, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, hormonal therapy, all these therapies. So let's talk about surgery, for example. It's the major thing here, and that is what keeps a lot of women away from treatment. But one thing that we need to make women understand is that no doctor comes to the hospital with the vision of taking away your breast. No, I don't believe so. But a lot of things are taken into consideration. What is the size of the mass? What is the size of the breast? So you may find a fairly small mass in a very, very small breast. And then it's difficult to just remove the lump. And so you may have to remove the whole breast. So over the period, a certain cycle has been formed. Because again, we don't have so many survivors advocating. And the link to death, most people are afraid. With fear comes delay. And then with delay comes late presentation. With late presentation comes mastectomy, when the whole breast is taken away. And then the cycle goes on and on and on. But then that is the catch here. If you pick up the symptoms and report early, then the breast doesn't need to be taken away. Because usually, if it's picked early, it's really small, and you can just take out the lump. That's what we call the breast conservation surgery. Then we have systemic therapy as well, and these are all complementary, like chemotherapy. Now, there's a lot of negative information about chemotherapy as well. But then again, communication and counseling is key. There are other advanced things like targeted therapy now, where we give medication that target particular things that help cancer to grow. And then immunotherapy, medication that build your immune system to fight cancer. And these are all things that are used to help improve survival. Unfortunately, we are not able to have access to all of them because of the cost. Remember reconstruction. Now the breast can be reconstructed. So the fear of mastectomy shouldn't be so, because you can have reconstruction. And any time patients need to understand, and women need to understand this, that there's the option of reconstruction. So how do we get this comprehensive management? We need to work together. In breast cancer care, we need to work together. We need to encourage women not to abandon treatment. We need to support women. That is the only way we can work this journey. So a call to action for women. Women need to know their bodies. They need to do monthly breast exam. They need to seek medical care early. One thing we should all know that about 90%, over 90% of breast cancer cases are self-detected. And these are detected in women who usually don't even examine their breast. So imagine if every woman is examining their breast, they'll pick up these lesions early. And so we always encourage self-breast exam. What about men, communities, leaders? We need men to support our women. We've heard so many stories of men leaving their wives because of breast cancer, or standing in the way of treatment and not allowing their wives to have maybe surgery, maybe mastectomy if it's indicated. And because they have the economic power, the women do not have treatment. We need to encourage men to support their wives, and to also let them know that it can happen in men, but then it's rare. We need to fight the stigma and encourage screening. It's funny, but I have two patients, a mother and a daughter. The daughter brings the mother to clinic, and she also has breast cancer, but the mother does not know the daughter has breast cancer. So they come to clinic, mother comes for a review. She tells her mom to step out. She's talking to the doctor, then she brings her folder for review. But that is not it. You can imagine the kind of support. I'll take the opportunity to advocate for more radiotherapy centers, since we just have 3 of them in the country, and a lot of time they are broken down, leading to long delay, long wait time for radiotherapy, and sometimes the tumor comes back. So this is a good platform to advocate for more radiotherapy centers. Now, to summarize everything, finally, I'll say that detect it early, treat it right, indeed is the sure way to breast cancer. So you know why I said it's a life-changing truth, a matter of life and death. Let's speak up. Let's not hide. It's time to speak up as women. It's time to speak up as survivors. That's the only way that women will have hope. And together we can give our mothers, our sisters, our aunts a future that they deserve. So in summary, most breast cancer starts this way, really small. However, if you delay, it becomes this. And we know that the outcomes are not good. Or, as I said, it may start as a lesion like that, usually very small. I mean, worst case scenario, you can end up with a mastectomy, yes. But then again, you can even slay. You should slay. Most survivors, we encourage you to slay with reconstruction, with prosthesis. So you need to know that the options lie within your hands. You have the power. So as we celebrate this Pinktober month coming up, I can see a lot of us wearing pink ribbons. It shouldn't just be a color. It shouldn't just be a color. It should be a symbol of hope and courage and support, knowing that no woman should walk this journey alone. And as a team and as a community, we can push the agenda until it comes to the point when breast cancer becomes, okay, so I find a lump, breast cancer, I get treatment, I'm fine. Move from that stigma to that point where it's just a walkthrough because we have that support and because the women feel strong and are courageous. So thank you very much and God bless us all.
Thank you, doctor. You've left your glasses because you want to slay. As for slaying, she didn't give you definition, eh? Now, people understand slaying. What is slaying? Let's give a round of applause. I told them they chose the wrong MC. So who were the ladies? Tracy, Zainab, and who? Nayeli. Eh? So who's tomato seller? All right. Retention, right? What have we remembered? So early detection, critical. Yeah? Treatment must be right, but we must diagnose it right. I'll tell you a story. If you have cancer that is malignant, and somebody messes with your mind that they have sorted it out, you saw it early, but something happened. I have a fight with food and drugs. Because when it comes to the men, there's something called Prostacure. I said that name is deceptive. Yeah? Somebody has a product called Prostacure, but it is licensed as a supplement and therefore cannot make curative claims. So men run there, okay, now I can pee, but it hasn't touched any cancer at all. I had that, let me call it, provider come on my radio show. I told him things about his qualification from medical school to whatever, and the things I don't want him dare say on my program, because I've watched people die. So go back to Tracy, Zainab, and Naili. Okay. So they got late diagnosis, then it went funny. I'll tell you another story, directly personal. An oncologist requests the histology and refuses to follow up. I know his name because I'm talking about my sister. Mm-hmm. So even in better resource examples, there are gaps. There are they don't follow up, they don't date. 3 years, I don't even know he has never asked me if my sister has died. So there are gaps in the story. Another thing, I think the men were brought in too late. Too late. Okay? The men are affected very early on, and they do silly things. We bring them into this scenario too late. Right? There are interventions that keep partners together and also maximize support. Because as you are going to Olebu on your own, hearing all those humongous things on your own, lots of things happen. All right? So there are some gaps in there. I'm just addressing them so you look at them. And a lot of them, yes, okay, we brought in a tomato seller, right? When you translate some of these things into resource-constrained areas, we have a lot of community work to do before you even reach the doctors that we're talking about here, Marianne and all these people. Before you reach them, there's some small community chipped compound or this and that. Is this information getting there? All right? And of course, Honorable, please, we now need to start hearing the operationalization of Mahama Care as it applies to breast cancer. Where in this place are you going to put that money? Right? Because we'll say Mahama Care, right? Listen, when free maternal health care came, it was for 5 visits and specific things. And I insisted on radio. I've been doing my radio show for 23 or 24 years. Okay? But free. I said, no, it's specific things. And then they'll be told certain things you have to pay. Then the gloom starts. So they detected early, then what I call treatment-induced trauma. Yeah. The system will beat you. So the candle will come early. Okay? Just a few comments. Okay, I don't want to hijack this thing. But yes, if we identify it early, we treat it right, then we get better outcomes. And if you compare with other countries, survival rates are wonderful. Whereas here, everything is doom and gloom. So, right. Diagnose it early, treat it right, a sure way to beat cancer. I'm just lighting a candle so we know where the holes are. How many men are not reporters, cameramen, and whatever here? Yes? Honorable? Prof? Okay? Do you see how we all these skew things? The whole discussion was about women. So they struggle with this on their own. How many men did we invite? How many partners? I work with a lot of male survivors. They've lost their wives, but they are actively supporting these groups. And I salute them any day. We need to get them into this discussion. So let's remember that. Thank you. All right. We now have a survivor's testimony. One of the key things for me is that transition from victim to survivor. It is clinical, it is physical, but it's also from here. Right? Would you know I have had a problem as I stand here? 3 weeks ago, something happened to me. I said, hey, the whole media put me in a CT scan. Yeah, right? Yeah, but I'm on my feet. Okay? So that transition from victim, you fear this thing from Tete. Then you discover, right? We like examining the breast for different reasons. But you discover you have it. When you hear somebody has successfully made that transition from victim to survivor, wow. So it is no mean respect that I invite Ifya Apia to give us her testimony. Ifya. Don't tell us about slaying.
Thank you very much. So my journey here, I like to remember my journey here with five things. The first thing that I like to hold on to and the dulcet tones of Dr. Nsafo as she told me very quietly that, so according to these scans, you have stage 2 cancer, and there's a small lump here, but we'll work on it. We know how to do this. And I held on to that voice, that reassurance throughout the whole process, because it was quite a process. Then the second was the stunning shade of lipstick that my oncologist had on, as she tried to explain to me the various treatments, whether I should do adjuvant and neoadjuvant. And because I had my sister with me listening to all the details, I just concentrated on the stunning shade of her lipstick, which I kept saying, you know, I have to get that shade, I have to get that shade. The third thing I held on to was something that I actually still hold on to. The plastic surgeon holding my hand as we walked into theater. And that, you know, as I lay there in theater, I just recounted how soft his hands were. And when I asked him, when are we going to start? He said, oh, we'll start when Dr. Nsafo comes. And that was very reassuring. That was what, 3? Okay, so the fourth was, there were 2 oncology nurses with very gentle hands. And they could find a vein in less than 30 seconds, put in the infusion, and you would not feel a thing. It was Theresa and I think Stephen. Excellent oncology nurses. I did all my treatment in Korle Bu, by the way. And I would recommend it any day to anyone. And the fifth memory I held on to was, I could always find the best roasted granuts in Korle Bu. You know, as I stepped out of my chemo treatment for the day, I would always meet this granite seller. And you know, it was a very short window when I could, between when I get the infusion and when I could taste anything. And she would always be there. That was something I held on to. So every time I was going for an infusion, I was like, I hope this woman will be here. And she was always there. I don't know if it was engineered by my treatment team or my family or my sister who was with me at every infusion, but she was always there. And it helped to hold on to these five things. They became things that I was counting on, and I still count on, because as someone who has gone through the process of treatment, of diagnosis, treatment, and after treatment, you're still going to engage with the system. I still meet my oncologist, I still speak with Josephine, and those memories have helped me tremendously. Especially now that after all of that, you're crowned with the label of being a survivor. And I must admit to you, I don't like that label. Because it comes with so much responsibility. And it comes with a lot of stigma. I can interact with people, and at the end, I say, or someone says, oh yeah, you're a survivor, and everybody goes quiet. And you're like, what the? It's that stigma that doesn't make people willing to go and test or to go and get screened, because after you go through the treatment, after you go through the rigor of losing your balance after your second treatment, after you go through the rigor of surgery, you have to face the stigma of being a survivor. So I keep on asking Dr. Na, my oncologist, I keep on asking her, where are all the survivors? Because I don't see anyone. Of course, that is after I ask her if I'm going to survive, and she tells me, oh, yeah, you survive, you survive. Nobody wants to step forward. You have the stigma that isn't addressed within our society. So as much as they pat you on the back, oh, survivor, 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 there is that stigma that is associated with it. And I'll point out one that happened here that, there's so much unconscious stigma. Our chairperson was introduced very nicely with a very long CV, which I am proud to say I have one too. But I'm always introduced as a survivor. So that is an unconscious stigma that happens a lot. So next time, or let me reintroduce myself. So my name is Efiapia. I am 50 years old. And I am an agribusiness specialist. I work actually in monitoring and evaluation of development projects. I am also a communications specialist. I have a lovely family. I also at 47 got diagnosed with breast cancer, and I survived it, and I continue to survive it. So as we go through this month of October, which for me is very traumatic because it's a constant reminder of what I went through, and I know everyone who has been through the process agrees with me. It's very traumatic. But as we go through the month of October, let us remember that surviving isn't just surviving. Surviving is surviving within an environment that stigmatizes survivors. And let us work consciously to destigmatize both men and females who go through the process of diagnosis, correct treatment, and living after breast cancer. Thank you.
Don't go. Come. Because she said something. And you see, I have it here, that you are a survivor. You see? So it now comes to, she's communications expert as well, right? How do we couch this so that the message of what she's been through carries, right? And it takes away some of these things. I listen to people on radio. I listened to a woman who started psychological therapy. It was very difficult to engage with her, but she was sitting on the women's program. And she went on, and everybody from oncologists, whatever, they were nonsense, useless. We go through a lot of hard work, right? But again, you see some of these things. When you change it, some of the things are too funky, right? So I love what she said, but we've got to start looking at these things, the messaging behind it. What is stigma? To mark something and render it unwholesome, unworthy. I can mark a page in a book because that is where I want to continue reading. It's a mark, but it's not a negative mark, right? So we used to teach stigma first. I was one of the captains of our HIV ambassadors program. The program itself was called Heart to Heart. Nobody had the Heart to Heart. Indeed, after it came out, it became a First Ladies program because we have First Ladies versus HIV. I said, are you kidding me? We protect them and they carry the message in the positive way, like she's saying, right? Then when they started giving them hell, they came back to me. And I went back to the commission and I said, this is the thing. So yes, a survivor, positive. No, not at all. Because people will do this and they say they want to keep certain. You see, the message we are sending across is, I'm okay. My family is okay. Because somebody is asking. I have church leaders. Once, I think 2001, I was doing radio. And she shared her story. Then she said, Notte, I beg you, I can't come on radio again. My family said, how dare I disclose? Right? So we have those. Her husband is angry, his mother is angry, and then her father is angry. So she said, despite her spirit, read the New. So they keep on, she's hugging my party. Charles, I won't say where I know him, right? But yeah, your sister. Oh, I see. All right. So that was the testimony from a survivor. Are we being well fed? Or it's getting too serious? You came here as ambassadors, you must take things away. All right? I believe when you learn to teach, you learn better. When you learn for yourself, sometimes when I do training workshops, can you believe I've done a workshop on breast cancer with deaf women? With a translator. So I had to slow down because everything I say, the translator now has to sign. This is so many years ago. So I learned that this is for applause, right? So I was slowly going through. And again, it's something that the association must look at. We're doing all the, what about deaf women who have, like, what? They said, no. Everything I said, they've understood, Twaso. But speed, no, Fabica. I said, we'll do all before the coffee break. And they said, they're fine. They came in a bus from Cape Coast. And I had to do that training with a translator. So there are communities, target groups that we perhaps may not be touching. They are deaf, maybe even blind. They have breast cancer. So we need to start talking about those. Okay, right. We have some solidarity messages from partners, okay? I have them in a particular order, forgive me. I also know that this program is being sponsored courtesy of a Pfizer educational grant. Okay, let's give them a round of applause for that. We have presidential sponsors. Doesn't mean anything political. Ghanaians there, straight away, they want to go here or there. Just sponsors. Presidential sponsor is Gold Key Properties. Gold Key Properties. And a round of applause for them. Executive sponsor, Revna and AstraZeneca. AstraZeneca I know very well. All right. Elite sponsors, SAF or STL Amandi. Can we give them a round of applause? Gold sponsors, Roche, Products Ghana, MTN, and BAJ Freight. Sponsors are critical because there are people who have koto, nothing, but they've come to you and you are talking about surgery, chemo, and all. Please, sometimes when you have good partners and sponsors, you do good things. So once again, a round of applause for our sponsors. Event itself, by courtesy of a Pfizer educational grant, presidential sponsor, Gold Key Properties, executive sponsors, Revna and AstraZeneca. That's William, eh? Yeah. And then elite sponsors, SAF, that's STL Amandi, gold sponsors, Roche Products, MTN, and BAJ Freight. Okay. In the order I have them, I have all sorts of pink sheets here. Okay. Right. So, Madam President, I do believe this is an order you want me to follow, not the other one, no? I should follow this order. Okay. Right. So, I do have a representative to present a solidarity message from the Office of the Vice President, Her Excellency Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman. So from the office of the President, and I do believe her name is Dr. Miriam Idrisu. If you're here, Dr. Miriam Idrisu. Oh, okay.
Good morning, everybody. Sincere apologies for coming in late. Honestly, I do not know the protocol, but distinguished chairperson, standing on existing protocol, I just want to say good morning once again to everybody. I'm actually standing here because Suzanne Yemidi stampeded on me. I actually called there requesting her to get me some. I'm even confused. I don't know whether to use survivors or whatever. So that we would also have our share of the campaign. And in fact, give it up to Suzanne Midi. At a point in time, I asked who called who. Is it me who called you or you called me? She just seized the moment and made sure that we made a representation in this program, and I'm grateful I'm here. Yes, so I just want to say I stand in solidarity with everybody, every individual here affected by it. We celebrate the courage. I've learned a lot from Efia Apia, right? I admire you, you're a strong woman, and you've given me food for thought to think through this word of survivor. I've worked in the development space for a long time. Sexual and gender-based violence survivor, KIA survivor. So this is a challenge for me to go revisit this particular theme and see how we can use it positively. So on my own behalf, I just want to say that this Pink October is a platform not only to raise awareness, but to inspire action through screening, education, advocacy, love. Because the fight against breast cancer is not one of a single organization or institution. I wish to commend the Breast Society of Ghana for its tireless commitment since its establishment. I think that they also deserve a round of applause. Although I came in late, I've been processing a few of the things that I listened to. The larger society cannot sit in here with us. Are we thinking through the language barrier, how we are able to use the paper to talk to, educate, sensitize those who cannot be on the same platform and can't communicate in English? Maybe it's something for us to think through. And I think the male involvement is also a good thing. Can we begin to get more men on board, even at an earlier age? I think that we've had better results targeting men across a lot of sectors, including sexual and gender-based violence. I think those are the few things that I have noted down. So I would say that on my own behalf, we look forward to working with the Breast Society of Ghana. I actually called because of an activity, and hopefully we should have a long-term relationship with the Breast Society of Ghana. On this note, I wish you well. Thank you, and together we renew our commitment in the fight against breast cancer. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can we do it once more for her? From the office of the Vice President, Dr. Miriam Idrisu, is the lady who just spoke. Okay, where's my order now? The pink sheet. Okay. I have a representative from the Ministry of Health of our Republic, Madam Estelle Ruth Opoku. From the Ministry of Health, Madam Ruth Estelle Opoku. Don't feed anybody after this.
Okay, thank you so much for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. I bring you greetings from the Honorable Minister, Honorable Akando, and the Director, Technical Coordination, Directorate of the Ministry of Health, in the person of Dr. Hafiz Adams Tahir. So I've been given just 2 minutes to do this, so please permit me to go through the solidarity message, and then permit me also to write on the existing protocols. So I actually love what my dear sister, Efia, I'm also Efia, and I, on my solidarity message, actually took out survival and actually put in champions of health. Yes. So I was so glad, and then I was so happy when she actually came out to speak about that particular aspect and then the way that they were addressed. Because I feel that when we call them the champions of health, it actually affirms their agency and their strength. It also highlights the person's active role in this whole initiative, and also not just the experience that they have had in their journey. Number 2, as we are already aware, it actually reduces the stigma, as she said. It actually shifts the focus from the illness to the impact, resilience, and then the contribution. I just wanted to take some few time to talk about this. And the third one is to refer to all those living with the condition, those who are still living with it, those who are currently battling, covered, and then those who are advocates, or even those who are trying to see if they are getting their diagnosis right or not. So I think we changing the whole name to Champions of Health of breast cancer, I think it would fit in better to me. So thank you so much, Ifia, for being bold to talk about this. So now let me go straight to my solidarity message. I've been given 2 minutes. So from the Ministry of Health, we pledge our unwavering support for this critical national platform, the launch of the Pinktober 2025. So as we are all aware, breast cancer is a challenge we face currently, and it demands our collective urgent action. So when I saw the theme, I loved it, because you catching it early and then treating it right is very important. And also, we surviving it is actually also outstanding. And it perfectly captures the agency of its moment, and it's also a powerful call for action. So, to the Ministry of Health, catch it early is not just a slogan, as my sister earlier on said. It's a directive to strengthen our primary health care systems, to equip our clinics with necessary resources, and to ensure that the public awareness campaigns reach every corner of this nation, driving home the importance of self-examination and then timely screening. And I love the second part, as I said, treat it right. It actually speaks directly to our core mandate as technical people. And then it means working tirelessly and relentlessly to ensure that all the citizens, regardless of their treatment protocols. So this includes ensuring a steady supply of essential oncology medicines. And I love what Dr. Mary, is that the name is right? Okay. I love what she said, and I'm sure that from here I'll take it to my bosses. And investing in continuous professional development for our surgeons, our nurses, and thank you so much, Efia, once again, about how the nurses who were so much available to provide you with warm hands. And then strengthen the entire core continuum, that is from diagnosis to quality treatment, and then patient follow-up. So today, we all here are stakeholders. And I love the part where we have different types of stakeholders here together, policymakers to professionals to advocates and to our champions of health. And then through it all, we say that we commit to coordinating the technical inputs required to translate these strategies into sustained life-saving national programs. So let us leverage the momentum to Pinktober to make a profound and lasting difference. So together, we will catch it early, we will treat it right, and then more of our mothers and daughters, sisters.
On behalf of the Minister of Health, you know when you get solidarity messages, they are bridges and they are not walls. They are what? Charlie, when I start my church, when you hear solidarity messages, they are and not walls. Too many people are afraid to follow up some of these promises. And they get away with it. Yes, we do the protocol. Look, if you want to provide support, if you want to support diagnosis, etc., it must be operationalized. So I love the solidarity messages, right? But it's a bridge. Okay? Whether you are in Gomwa or wherever, you have a call to action. That is what I understand by solidarity messages. Okay? They come, yes, the cameras are here because most crews will run for 12. They go and file for 12. TV3 has gone already, I noticed, right? But we're capturing this moment for effect for Breast Society of Ghana. So this and the earlier messages are important. If you come from another place and you represent another constituency, please make sure you take down numbers and names. I told you several years ago, I spoke here, Christine Checha, Teresa Tego, Grace Coleman, Betty Modidrusu, Emil Schwartz. I still know them today, okay? But that's how things get done. A round of applause for the Ministry of Health. We've done Ghana Health Service. No, we haven't. No. So next I call upon Mr. Isaac Obing-Tando of the Ghana Health Service. Isaac. Why does everybody look for me?
Thank you very much, and good morning to everyone. I'm happy to be here on behalf of my program manager and then the acting director general. Normally at events like this, when my mother ministry speaks, we do not have much to say, but I will add a few. So yes, this event we are happy to be a part of it. And then I must say that breast cancer as a service remains NCD of priority as indicated in the NCD policy of Ghana. So as a country, as a service, we ensure that breast cancer awareness and screening services are all over and available in all communities where there is a CHIPS compound. We are united today and beyond to champion a message of hope, action, and survival, which is beautifully captured in our theme. That is, catch it early, treat it right, and then survive it. Catch it early is a cornerstone for survival. And in our mandate as a program, all we champion is early detection, early detection, early detection. And we say, the men, we are not left out in this. We are part of detecting the lamp early in our partners and even in ourselves. So let's play a major role in this act. Treat it right, yes, my mother, so that mothers, victims, would always have access to this care. Survive it. Definitely is a direct, outcome of early detection and then treating it early. So once we pick it early and give the right treatment, we know you become a champion beyond survivor. So on this note, I pray that this team shouldn't be an event here, but it's a promise by Ghana Health Service that will ensure.
Thank you very much. Next, I have the National Commission on Civic Education, NCCE, Mrs. Lucille Hewlett Annan Esquire. I love that. Mrs. Lucille Hewlett.
Lucille.
Hey. Okay. Well, there's an IE at the end. All right. With the NCC.
Yes. Thank you very much. Good morning. Hey, aren't we all survivors? If you have given care to someone who's been through cancer, let me just say cancer, you are also a survivor because it's not easy. Taking care of my sister, watching my sister deteriorate just within a matter of months, becoming a different, you see her, she's changed totally. I'm also a survivor. Thank you. Someone asked me, if I see God today, or God opens a small window for me and asks me, Lucille, what do you want me to do for you? I will tell God, please let us get a cure to cancer. That is the first thing I'll ask God. My reason, my mother-in-law died, cancer of the intestines. I buried my sister 2 months ago, cervical cancer. My seamstress called me all of a sudden. Lucille, come for your things, because my seamstress, she's very good. And so every time she's busy. So one of the tricks is that I always have my things there. So when I'm going somewhere, I say, Medi lined it out. I'm already in the queue. She called me one day, said, Lucille, come for your things, I'm traveling. I said, oh, yes, I've packed your things, come for it, come for your things. I said, okay. So then she had to leave it with someone for me to pick up. After months, she called, because when I send her messages, I don't get a response. She comes back. And I said, where have you been? I said, Lucille, I have breast cancer. And so I thought it was the end. That's why I told you to come for your things. I had to give everybody who had their fabric with me, I had to give it out. Someone who loved me dearly, without any, I did not do anything for that person. That person died. They said cancer of the gallbladder. Within 3 months, that person was gone. So if I say I'm a survivor, I had to bury a lot of people from cancer. So, Sister Efia, we were together over the weekend. It was my birthday, and we were together. And I was at her 50th. This lady, she can slay. Her 50th, last year, she was wearing shorts. Once I said, hey, mommy, she's slaying. Thank you very much. I'm here because of my commission. I'm going to deliver a message on behalf of my chairman. So formally, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Minister, President of the Breast Cancer Society, Dr. Miriam, hi. Please, all protocols observed. I bring you warm greetings from the chairman of the NCC, Ms. Kathleen Adi, and the entire staff of the National Commission for Civic Education. It is an honor to be here today to lend the Commission's unwavering support to this campaign under the theme, Catch It Early. treat it right, survive it. Breast cancer affects many families across the country. However, awareness, early detection, and public education can save many lives. This campaign is vital to the Ghanaian public, and it will not only educate them, but it will also provide a platform for leading healthcare professionals, researchers, civil society, and advocates to champion a united response to curb Ghana's rising breast cancer incidence. The campaign will also provide women of all ages, our mothers, sisters, daughters, and even our fathers and brothers with the requisite knowledge and tools to act early by going for routine screening, seeking early intervention, and knowing that they are not alone. As October is internationally recognized as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we at NCCE will champion breast cancer. We'll champion breast cancer education via our multiple social media handles, knowing that through civic education, many lives can be reached and transformed. We will do our very best to sensitize the public to be proactive in making routine screening part of their lives. Really, about 2 months ago, I went to do mammogram. So we encourage people to do that. Our support will also extend to all other activities that will be undertaken through this campaign by the Breast Society of Ghana. Let us not raise awareness about breast cancer only in October, but let's spark conversations in our communities, our workplaces, and our homes to further encourage many to be breast cancer aware. Together we can break the silence, reduce the stigma, and encourage regular screening. We congratulate the Breast Society of Ghana for this.
Thank you. Reporting others slaying and not yours. That's it. All right. So, social media handles of NCC. Please check. Me, I'll check. I will check. Okay. Because they are now another bridge. STL Amandi, represented by Mr. Nadav Simhoni. Yes, sir. STL Amandi.
SAF, STL Amandi Foundation. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here and participate in this important event of launching the Pink October. We at STL Amandi Foundation advocate for health and education delivery to the underprivileged people in Ghana. And as a message, as part of our intentions or initiatives to support health, we collaborated with the Breast Society of Ghana to support them and sponsor this event and the activities in the October month of breast cancer awareness. So we are privileged to assist you. We are hoping that this will deliver a message of awareness, and as the message says, detect it early, treat it right, and you will be a champion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Brief to the point. I think we've done everybody. No. Gold Key Properties, I believe. Gold Key Properties. So we have to grab, we'll go there. All right. So President Dr. Josephine Nsafo will give a little overview of activities, and then I will call on Dr. Na to come and kick off the Pinktober. Is it Pink October?
Pinktober.
People are playing with them.
It's Pinktober. Mr. Chairman, Honorable Dr. Muhammad Sharif Abdul Halik, a member of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health. Do permit me to stand on existing protocols so that we catch up on time. So thank you all for coming. This year's theme, Catch It Early, Treat It Right, Survive It, we believe is the pathway to changing the breast cancer narrative in Ghana.
This is what is needed to achieve a survival rate comparable to that of advanced countries, and it is possible. Possible through early detection followed by timely and appropriate treatment. The story of survivors is a testament to that. To catch it early, we are continuing to push the message of early detection through breast screening. We can all start that with our monthly breast self-examination and yearly clinical breast examination when we go to the hospital. And that costs next to nothing. I know this year the Ghana Health Service is pushing this as far down as the primary health facilities and the CHIPS compounds, and we are happy to be partnering with them. We will still start with a few mammograms we have available, and we are calling on governmental and non-governmental agencies, corporate and industry, everybody here, to support in the acquisition of infrastructure needed to assist the early detection. Treating it right. Appropriate treatment is available in Ghana. You heard Ms. Efia's story. Every treatment modality for breast cancer treatment is available here as we speak. We must do away with the fear and misconceptions that delay the early initiation of treatment. That is the problem. Family and friends need to support those diagnosed to access treatment free of the stigmatization that often follows it. Unproven alternative treatments do not work, and we must stop dabbling with that. However, there is a role for complementary alternative treatments which may enhance one's recovery. Once again, we call on governmental and non-governmental organizations, corporate and industry to assist in making available treatment modalities equitably accessible across the country by decentralizing treatment and bringing it closer to all people. Survival is possible. Let's support those who are going through treatment and encourage survivors to share their story. Catch it early, treat it right, survive it. So this month, we have a few programs outlined. We have our online public lecture. We will advertise and share the link. It will be on the 8th of October, and the topic will be on how we can modify our modifiable risk factors. There will be daily breast cancer messages, and this year we are partnering with NCCE. They'll use their media to send out these daily breast cancer messages, as we did last year, but this year NCCE is on board, so we believe the messages will go all the way down to every community. There'll be several media engagements, so just put on your radios, TVs. We'll be out there doing the education. We'll go out to various societies, corporates, wherever we are called, we are ready to educate on breast cancer. Of course, we will also educate ourselves, health professionals. We will have another CPD for health professionals to update ourselves so that we will not be misdiagnosing as we heard this morning. There will be breast screening outreaches also to societies and corporates. And let's all remember, 25th October, we are expecting you all for our breast awareness walk. 25th October, we'll be starting at Elwak Stadium through the streets and back. And we're going to create awareness and paint the town pink. So we shall be expecting you all. And of course, we are doing awareness beyond October. So you'll be hearing us throughout the year. Thank you all very much. And I think that's a summary of our activities. We do also have our quarterly newsletter. Hector, can we have the newsletter, please? So our third issue actually has just been published. We will put the QR code, you can scan it, everybody can have a soft copy. We do have a few hard copies. If you whisper in my ear, I'll let you have one. So it's also, we do also advertise in our newsletter. So organization, corporate, industry, you are most welcome to advertise in our newsletter. You can subscribe to the newsletter. Every quarter, you read survivor story, there's education on breast cancer treatment, advertisements, and all. Thank you.
Thank you. very much, Madam President. Yeah. Pardon? Is a message? Okay.
Please scan the QR code and you'll get a soft copy of our Volume 3 newsletter. And you can see any of us if you'd like to advertise in our newsletter. Thank you.
Okay. When they say scan and you start squeezing your face, then I know which generation you're from. So. We are old. And where's the menu? Scan it. I won't eat again. All right, so we're moving forward. I think I've done all the solidarity messages. Let me just go through the sponsors again. The event is by courtesy of Pfizer, a Pfizer Educational Grants. Let's give them a round of applause. Presidential sponsor, Gold Key. Executive sponsor, Revna and AstraZeneca. Elite sponsors, SAF, which is STL Amandi. Oh, you stop clapping? Hey. It's Friday. Gold sponsors, Roche Products, MTN, and BAJ Freight. Okay, right. Next, I call upon the Vice President. We just had the President. Okay. Dr. Na, is she? Yeah. She's coming to do some wonders to launch Pinktober. What's it called? Pinktober. You know, anytime something is branded and then people start changing it, please make sure they retain your brand and then it goes further. What's it called? Pinktober. Is she looking pink? Yes. Very pink. Okay. I hand over to you. Or you want me to hold it?
Thank you very much. I'd like to call Prof. Anyanfo. Dr. Charles Fojo, who's our council chair, and the representative from GCB Women. You have been such a support and we love you for that. Please join us. I'm sure you've heard it throughout the program. For the year 2025, our message is simple. Catch it early, treat it right, survive it. With this, we want to launch Pinktober 2025.
Thank you. So Pinktober 2025 is duly launched. We would hope that the balloons will not disgrace us. There you go. A round of applause, please. It's up there. It signifies all the constellation of things they have undertaken to do. And I do believe they will do them. They've got good partners. They've got survivors, and let's not get too tied up in that. Some people say models of hope, champions. Let's create our own and own it. That's the important thing, and let it be meaningful to the target groups that we're talking about. Once again, Pinktober duly launched. Thank you. We've almost gazetted everything. Where's my? Somebody nicked my pen. All right. Somebody needs my, there you go. Okay. So, as Prof. F.T. Sai used to say to me, Note, when I'm chairman, I don't have much to say. But we still have our chairman, and our chairman, Dr. Mohammed Abdul Halik. MP for Nantoma and also representing the Select Committee, will give us his closing remarks. Honorable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Norte. I think it's been a very productive day for all of us. And for me, what is key is that we are all leaving this room with one thing in mind, that we have a problem. What is the problem? The problem is cancer. Anytime you have a problem, you need to find a solution. What is the solution? The solution is to catch it and treat it right, and then we can all survive it. Our healthcare system over the years has become a little bit more robust. I mean, I'm sure some 20, 30 years ago, if we are going to say we can treat breast cancer fully in Ghana, that would have been something very difficult. But thankfully, over the years, we have been able to build capacity. Capacity in terms of skills, capacity in terms of human resources. Apart from capacity, we have been able to do some modest work in terms of infrastructure. And all these help us in our fight towards diseases, both communicable and non-communicable, including breast cancer. I would say the barriers we have all spoken about, including that comes from the patient side, fear, stigma, financial problems. For me, if you look at all the countries that were able to win battles against diseases, for example, the HIV fight, if you take it down to East Africa, to South Africa, etc., one of the biggest weapons they used in their fight against it is what anti-fear is, to allow people to openly and freely talk about it. I'll give you a story. I had quite an argument with somebody. And this was an argument that in the context of HIV, I'm digressing a little bit, but I'll get to breast cancer, that in the concept of HIV, antiretroviral therapy may be a way of getting people, or antiretroviral therapy makes a person living with HIV so fine that it makes the other person, it makes her dangerous to someone else. Then I'm like, wow. Why don't you rather say you take responsibility for your own health rather than looking out for the health of another person to be irresponsible? So in the same way, in trying for us to fight stigma, what I'll say to Auntie Efia and every other person that has survived breast cancer, you are not just a champion. I mean, we can play with the nomenclature and everything, the naming and all that. You are not just a champion, you are not just a survivor. After winning, sharing your story for someone to pick it up and go through that process makes you a better person. Every single person that has survived breast cancer is a better person, and nobody can tell the story better than you. When you share that story, you help us to catch it early. When you share that story, you help us. When you share that story, more women will survive. When more women survive, we have won the battle against breast cancer. Again, Infrastructure. Our healthcare system is very challenged. 3 radiotherapy units in a country of over 35 million people. That is a challenge. In the process of treating cancer, etc., other organs get involved. In the process of treating breast cancer, you are going to need a renal specialist at a point. You may need somebody in orthopedics. You would need somebody, a psychologist. And so that brings us to a joint action for breast care. There is no way we can win if it's not a joint action. What is the joint action? It must start right from the community. Who takes care of our primary health care needs? The community health nurse must understand what the symptoms, what the signs are. Even before they would know that, look, it's only when you understand signs and symptoms that you see that, look, this thing is something, and it's something I must send somewhere else. If a community nurse, health nurse, recognizes the problem and sends it to a district hospital, there should be somebody there to understand the urgency of the situation we have. That brings us back to human resource. How many community health nurses do we have? How many doctors and nurses do we have in our district hospitals? Then we raise up. We're going to a regional hospital. How many doctors do we have like Dr. Josephine around to help us? Unfortunately, most of them are going to be concentrated in Accra, in Kumasi. If you are fortunate, you get a few in Tamale. As for Bolgatanga, Wa, just forget it. Bono East, Bono West, forget it. But this is Ghana. Over the last few weeks, as a committee, we have been roaming around the country to see at first hand what are the problems on the ground. A lot of hospitals somewhere else are overstaffed, whilst others, I'm happy the person from the Ministry of Health is here. We have somebody from Ghana Health Service. Some places are overstaffed, other places severely understaffed. If we want to achieve universal health coverage, if we want that thing that we are saying 60% of the patients, we want to diagnose them in stage 1 and stage 2. If we want that those 60% we are able to get 60% of our results in 60 days, that's what we are looking at. And then if we want to achieve a target of 80% treatment, then there's a lot you and I need to do. What are you leaving this room with? What is your resolve? For the partners, I can say you are investing in a very noble cause. What you are investing in puts the smiles on the faces of people you would never know. But for them, any day they say a prayer, they would say one for you. Any day their family says a prayer, they will say one for you. For me, what do I leave this room with? As somebody that is in politics, and also as somebody that's in the area of health and medicine. I remember when I entered the room for my vetting to become a parliamentary candidate, I was asked, we hear you are a very good surgeon. What business do you want to do in this area of politics? My simple answer was, for us in health, for us doctors, nurses, who take care of patients, who see what our patients go through on a daily basis, who sometimes when you go home, I can tell you, after a hysterectomy, I sleep with one eye opened because I'm asking myself, would I be called in the middle of the night? Then I'm calling maybe at 12 a.m. Then he was at work to say, how is the patient doing? That is how health workers we are trained. We love our patients sometimes even more than we love ourselves. We love our patients sometimes even more than we love our families. This is a fact. So I told them, I have seen it all, right from the district hospital up. I have seen that the problem is up there. I have seen that the problem is with policy. I have seen that the problem is with those who take decisions. So I also want to sit on that table that takes decisions so that the experience I come with from down there will be put to bear. Then I can remind myself on a daily basis that there's no mammogram machine at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. That I can remind myself on a daily basis that thousands of Ghanaians need dialysis that they cannot pay for. That I can remind myself on a daily basis that hundreds of women of this country just need one thing, one surgeon. Look, when we talk about stigma, people not wanting mastectomy, what's the reason? I mean, if you take out my breast, you've taken out something that was part of me, something that I used to show to the world that this is what makes me a woman. You want to take that away from me. Why? Of course, I wouldn't want you to do that. But if we have a plastic surgeon, if we have areas like Mahama Care, etc., that would help to come in and support the women, reduce the cost of treatment, reduce the pain they will go through. I know that if I get a mastectomy, I can also get some form of plastic surgery to still make me appear the way I was made by God. I will make you take out that breast. On this note, this year, we have launched it already. On behalf of my chairman, on behalf of the Speaker of Parliament, we would say what Speaker Gbagbe always says, that the Parliament of Ghana is open to everyone, that the Parliamentary Select Committee of Health, we are with you in this, the Ghana Breast Society, Breast Society of Ghana. Our doors are open, we'll collaborate with you. I know the issue around the Ghana Medical Trust Fund is an evolving one. There's currently an administrator of the fund who is moving around. The policy formulation has been done, and I'm sure very soon it will be rolled out for everyone to understand where, for example, breast cancer is going to stand. Also, I know that this government is thinking that very soon we are going to have what we call the primary healthcare policy. You see, if we catch it early, we all know that we can treat it right, and then we survive. The only way we can catch it early is at the primary healthcare level. We improve it, we reduce the work of Dr. Josephine and the team. We thank all of you for making it here today. And as I said, when you walk out, be an advocate. When you walk out, give a shoulder to somebody to lean on. When you walk out, make sure you are the reason why someone else is smiling. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Mohammed Sharif Abdul Halik. Can we do it again for him? I make it a point not to forget names and always to follow up on stuff. So Josephine and co, if you are planning on coming on my program, be ready that I will ask you, did they deliver? right? Did the ministry deliver? Did the health service deliver? Now I see why I know your face. You argue a lot on TV, right? Okay? But importantly, we've done the duties for today, and I believe Josephine comes back to give us her message, or we've done the October activities already. Oh, some acknowledgements. Okay. Hey, President is here. Hey, you don't respect it.
Thank you all so much. So before we bring this program to an end, I think it would be good to do a roll call. First, we want to thank our chairman once again, Honorable Dr. Halik. You can see he's on the ground and he knows the issues. And we are counting on him and the committee. In fact, last year, the health committee too were here. I think 3 or 4 members of the committee, they were here. They've always given us their support. We appreciate their support. I know the timing didn't favor chairman and he wanted to be here. We appreciate the support of the health committee of the parliament. We appreciate the support of our Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service, NCC is here. Everybody who counts is here. Joint Action for Breast Care. So thank you, Chairman. We want to thank the representatives, Dr. Miriam Idris. I think she didn't come alone. The team from the Vice President's office. We appreciate your presence, your support here. We want to acknowledge, I think I'll mention names. If you are here, just stand. Let's see that you are here. We want to acknowledge our champions of breast health. There's breast cancer survivors. If you're a survivor here, please stand and wave. Thank you so much. They are so brave. That's the reason why we do what we do. And their survival makes it all worthwhile. Thank you all so much, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much. I would like to say happy birthday to Miss Susanna Yubudu. She's 70 years today, and a champion and a survivor. Hajia Zainab Muhammad Sani, tomorrow she'll be celebrating 19 years of survival. She's always ready to talk in front of cameras. She tells her story, and she's been encouragement to many patients I know, and even to us healthcare workers. We know that you can detect it early, treat it right, and you will survive it. Thank you all so much. Want to thank all those who came here. I have a list in no special order. I can see that Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems, GIPS, you are here. Can you just wave, can stand, let's see that you are here. Thank you for coming. Our Pfizer, our main sponsors for today, they are here. Dr. Regina, I saw her earlier, yes. Thank you so much for pushing the cause forward. Women in Mining, I saw your name on the list, thank you. National Health Students Association of Ghana, our future medical professionals, thank you all for coming. Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, can we see you? Hello, thank you. National Commission for Civic Education, yes, they are here. Can the team stand up? I think we saw one, yes. Thank you for coming. Ministry of Health is here. Oh, you came alone, okay. Ghana Health Service, yes, we know they are here. Doctor is here. Did you come alone? You came alone, okay. GCB ladies, thank you so much. There's a young lady, 22 years old, last year, breast cancer. Then Gina whispered to me that it's taking 3 months for them to raise money to do ultrasound-guided biopsy. So I called Dr. Now GCB Bank. I wrote a small narration and then he contacted GCB ladies. They paid for her full treatment. Surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, and they said they were willing to pay for breast reconstruction for her, but she said she's not ready for that. So GCB ladies, I mean, they are walking the talk. We appreciate them so much. We are expecting you for this year's work as well. Batch Freight and Logistics. Can we see the team, please? At the back there. Thank you for coming. Enterprise Computing Limited. They are in charge of our website. Where are you? They are over there. Revna Biosciences, one of our sponsors for 2025, they are here too. We have Medical Women's Association of Ghana. We have our reps here, thank you so much. Roche Products Ghana, we have a representative here at the back there, thank you. Zenith Bank. Zenith Bank, can we see you please? Don't be shy. Thank you all for coming. Pardon me? Bank. They are potential sponsors. They are potential sponsors. Thank you. Gold Key, they called last night, there was a clash in their programs. They were all dressed in pink but couldn't show up. We thank them for supporting and sponsoring. This is what I saw on the registration list. Is there any organization here that I've skipped? You are from? Oh, ARC Foundation, F1. That's my sweetheart. ARC Foundation is here. We know they support women. Thank you for coming. Who else have I missed? Okay, yes. Yes, SAF, our new sponsor for 2025. We appreciate your presence here so much. Thank you. Is Sonotech here? Okay, good. Thank you for coming. Who else have I missed out? Sirion Research Africa. Thank you so much for coming. Any other groups that I've skipped? Any individuals? Thank you all for coming. Thank you all so much for coming, our invited guests. We want to acknowledge the media houses who are here. This is a media launch, and we've been live on YouTube, on Zoom. Do you know how many people are online? So we are asking the members of the media to take the message out there. And for this year, it's detect it early, treat it right, survive it. We want to also appreciate Accra City Hotel. They gave a nice discount. Is this our third? How many times have we been here? So thank you always for the wonderful reception you give us. All our 2025 sponsors are here. We appreciate them so much for supporting a good cause. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for making time with us this morning, for supporting the cause. And we are counting on you to send the message out there this October and throughout the year. Thank you all so much. God bless you all. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Joint action for breast care. Thank you so much. Apologies. I forgot to acknowledge our council chair, Dr. Charles Fojo. Please say hi, Dr. Charles Fojo. Pardon me. I think I saw Auntie Jane. Auntie Jane, yes. Council members. Former council members, Prof. Glamte is here. Any other council members, old and new? Oh, is Prof. Vanderpoy there? I didn't see that far. Hello, Prof. Vanderpoy. Council members, old and new. Past executive. Prof. Anyafu is here. He drove in all the way from Cape Coast. We appreciate it. Past executives, are there any other here? And thanks for my amazing current team. And of course, our executive secretary, our one-man office, who does everything. Thank you all so much.
You're still being stingy, yeah? Can you do that again? Up. Up.
I forgot to thank the MC. I'm so shy. We thank Mr. Notedria so much. I had, there's a lady in South Africa, Portia, who was tuned in, and she was like, who is that?
Bad news.
Oh, good news. She said that, oh, you really are a good advocate, and a few other messages I'll show you after. We appreciate your presence so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. And, you know, something makes these things worth doing. You can be an academic, you can be a clinician, you can be a a pharmacist, you may be, I don't know, a community worker, but something must make it worth doing. And it's when you get those results and you see some of these, I mean, this 21-year-old covered, right? Just like pa, 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 pa. Unfortunately, there are many stories that are not like that. Many. And the one thing I want to end with is that I do believe, I've done this work for so many years, sometimes I'm confused if I'm even retired, but I am. But NGOs in Ghana must learn to collaborate. In year 2000, I went to Washington for Alzheimer's Disease International. Netherlands was ready to start and support Ghana. My partner, a psychiatrist, insisted we must get a building, we must get a car, we must get it. He said, look, in our countries, all of us, one phone line, one building, different NGOs, we work together. I've worked in media, I've worked in clinical work as a clinical psychologist and many other things. But what I know is when I'm doing sickle cell, I'm doing asthma, different societies. I know of Haven in Canada and so on. Haven might come down, but I very rarely hear that they partnered with VSOG and so on and so forth. It saves a lot of money and it gets you far. So that's just what I want to say, my way of saying thank you. It's been awesome. It's been informative. And lastly, I want to pray it has been transformative. Thank you.
As usual, there should be evidence that you were here. And exactly. So I'm going to call on a few people to come to the front so we can take some pictures. Can we have our speakers? Dr. Mary Andazi, Ifia Pia, Mr. Chairperson, Honorable mentioned his name, Honorable Halik. Dr. Mohammed Sharif Abdul Halik. Please come to the front.
Don't say cheese, you say condom.
I'd like to call council members. Council members, past, present council members, past, present executives, current executives as well, please.
What you do is you say ugly ones in front. Before you realize they call it themselves. Aren't you supposed to do that? What is it? Where is that? Okay. Pink doesn't look good on some people, but the message will get across. Oh. Horses. If you're online, please come. Pinhole camera. Partners and sponsors, please. Partners and what does partners mean? Okay, partners of BSOG, right? And sponsors. Oh no, yeah. Partners and sponsors, please. Do they know who they are? Okay, NCC, Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service, SAF, Gold Key, no? Yeah, Gold Key, right? Rush, oh, what's that list? BAG Freight, Revna. Hey, you sponsored, you should know. Hey, NCC, if you're a sponsor, come forward and remove your mouth. So, partners and sponsors, some people needed to sit. They know why. Still the men are outnumbered. Yes, okay. The next one is GCB ladies. Yeah? They are glowing. Oh. GCB ladies. Yeah? Oh? Executives haven't taken yet. Oh, executives and GCB ladies. GCB member no. Your MD better be a woman. I know GCB is MD. Video first, pictures. This is our human drone. You should see him fly. Okay. It's still written here, survivors coming after. When you guys want to change it, models of hope, angels of hope, whatever it is, ambassadors, champions, but the meaning must be clear. So for now, I'll call the the winners. Where are you? Come forward. Survivors, come forward. If you want to name yourself now. Warriors, survivors, whatever, name it now. Name it and claim it. Right? So, please, a chair. Oh, madam, what for the battery? So what's the new name? Champions name? Or you want to vote? It's not that easy that you like survivors. Oh, Asemaba. We'll vote. So, cameraman. Survivors, I'll tell you something. Years ago in Uganda, HIV, they do their dancing and everything. They do role play. Afterwards, each of them comes forward. My name is Josephine Amara. I tested positive in 1995. And I was from Ghana. I was like, each of them came forward and declared, okay? So the name, the title means something to them, right? So don't fight over it. You can work on it. Say Kontomire. Kobe, whatever, yeah? Authentic. Pinktober. Hey, SMO. The last one says everyone. I don't know how you're going to manage that, but by that time I would have gone. And let's take in sets, If you haven't taken a picture, come forward in groups. Don't hide your face. So you combed your hair before you came. Well, you've checked yourself already. Please, let's do it quickly. Charles, so Pharmaceutical Society is not the partner these days. These days I've lost touch with them. But when I saw you, I thought about me, they were here. Hey, this group, business class, share. Oh, nobody on business class, first class. Honorable, please infect yourself with the women. Yes.
Please, if you haven't been in the picture, join us.
Okay? They're good? You want some of you here? Hey, mommy, no. Wonderful. Hey. Chicks work room. Chicks work room.
Please don't be shy. Join the photograph.
Please, when they say slay, don't mind them. Me die Juma. Me pay young girls be at the hammy. They're okay? I know why the men are not here. And can picture where I say, they'll spoil the picture. Me, picture. These days, I get commentary on social media. They say somebody was holding me. You can't say I was holding. Yeah? Is it some of you won't get your anatomy? Some should come to this side, eh? Or pretend you are an opposition group giving a press conference with the Mumbrese. Yeah? Oh, just when we are taking off. How do you detect she needs a check? You know about her legs. Yeah? Those of you who didn't tell your employers where you are, will take pictures. Huh? Yeah? Somebody is watching you in Zimbabwe. Smile properly. You are online. Now, nice way. All right, thank you, everybody. Office of the Vice President, please, can you lower the music? Office of the Vice President with the executive of BSOG. Please, Office of the Vice President with executives. Office of the Vice President with the Executive. Where are they? How are you? Office of the Vice President with the Executive. Are you done? We have refreshments in the garden. Okay, refreshments in the garden. Little was that's right. Oh, okay.
refreshments will be served at the garden, please. When you step out, it's to your left. The refreshments are at the garden. Refreshments are being served at the garden. When you step out of this hall, it's to your left.